This is Pulse 95.
Pulse 95.
It's the Morning Majlis.
Well, yesterday, a series of major projects to boost the UAE's economy and development were revealed. And they were revealed at Qasr Al Watan, the presidential palace in Abu Dhabi, where ministers set out the latest 13 items in the projects of the 50 plan. So these basically relate to boosting the country's human capital and increasing the number of Emiratis employed in the private sector. And all private sector companies here in the UAE should now have a workforce that is at least 10% Emirati in 5 years' time. According to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Presidential Affairs, Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed, and Mohammed Al Gargawi, Minister of Cabinet Affairs, they were present as the new projects were actually revealed. Now, looking at the set of new announcements, one of the first to be announced was a plan to spend up to 24 billion dirhams on getting 75,000 Emiratis into private sector jobs. UAE citizens, they will be basically offered a series of incentives to choose private sector jobs or work. University graduates, they will be encouraged to take up jobs in the private sector, with the government offering to boost their salary to make the decision more attractive for them. So, for example, the government will top up an Emirati graduate's private sector salary by about 5,000 dirhams a month and make support payments for his or her children. Now, there's a separate plan that will allow federal government employees to take a sabbatical on basically 50% of their salary to start a business. Another will provide financial grants to encourage Emiratis over the age of 50 who take early retirement to start a business as well.
This is a major investment in Emirati human capital, and getting into this in more detail, they announced a number of initiatives and projects to promote this. So there's the Emirati Talent Competitiveness Council with Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed as chairman and Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, serving as vice chairman. What this council is going to do is it's going to bring together representatives across the federal government, and they are tasked with strengthening private sector partnerships and implementing projects to provide 75,000 private sector jobs for Emiratis. There's the Emirati Salary Support Scheme, a monthly top-up of up to 8,000 dirhams for Emirati graduates during the first year of training, and a monthly top-up of 5,000 dirhams for 5 years after their recruitment. And top-ups are conditional and based on a range of defined target salaries as well. They also spoke about the Merit Program. That's a fixed monthly salary top-up of 5,000 dirhams to be provided for 5 years for Emirati workers in specialized fields. We're talking nursing, accountancy, financial auditing, and also lawyers, financial analysts, and computer coders. They also spoke about the pension program. That's going to be a 5-year subsidy against the pension plan contributions for Emirati staff for earning less than 20,000 dirhams a month. A government-paid contribution, essentially, on behalf of the company against the cost of the pension plans for Emirati staff is going to be doled out over the first 5 years, which ensures zero contributions to the cost of Emirati pensions in the first year of private sector employment. And the list goes on and on. There's a child allowance scheme that's made to Emirati staff working in the private sector. They give 800 dirhams per child, up to a maximum of 3,200 dirhams per month in allowance. This would help with costs of childcare, and it lasts all the way up to the age of 21 as well. And they're also making a major investment in talent, a 1.25 billion dirham investment to develop special work skills for Emiratis. And they will use internationally recognized certifications in property management, accounting, business management, and tech skills as well. So there's a lot of training involved, apprenticeships, train to hire initiatives to build the skill of Emirati human capital here in the country. And not just for those employed, but they also have unemployment benefits to be paid to Emiratis working in the private sector who lose their jobs for circumstances beyond their control as well. So this is remarkable. This is a big change in the country.
It is remarkable. That just goes out to show you why the UAE is always number one in many fields and sectors worldwide. It's on the global map, really. people idolize the UAE. A lot of countries idolize the UAE for what they've been doing and what they have accomplished so far. And this comes to no surprise, really, with all this effort and all those initiatives that have been coming out lately. The Vice President and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, did say that yesterday. He said, "Today we have clear and supported targets for the percentage of citizens in the private sector. The future is in the private sector." He said the private sector will be partners in the country's march forward. He added that the next 50 years will be better and more beautiful. And also, in a tweet, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, said the plans would empower the country's young people as well. He said, consistent with our ambitions to empower our people and enhance the strength and sustainability of our economy, the UAE is launching a dedicated plan to boost the employment of UAE nationals in the private sector, which will play a vital role in our nation's long-term development. And the 50 National Projects Plan was unveiled before the UAE's 50th National Day, which will take place this December 2nd. As it does every single year. And we've seen the first 13 initiatives included visas for freelancers, highly skilled professionals, investors, entrepreneurs, top students, and graduates to sponsor themselves. And we've also seen flexible visas. They will allow people to sponsor their children into their mid-20s. There will be a visa residency grace period of up to 180 days. If people lose or change their job and new work permits, they will allow children aged 15 and over to get a part-time job here in the UAE. So these initiatives will definitely be the cornerstone of growth as the country marks 50 years since unification.
Absolutely, Rania, and it goes without saying the private sector is vital to this country's growth and development, and it's great to see that UAE citizens are being provided with opportunities very much up for grabs to join this private sector and become key contributors to this nation's development. We'll keep you posted on the updates shaping the headlines. Up next, we're going to be talking about the situation from Afghanistan. They made an announcement on how women can now operate within the education system. Stay tuned for that story and so much more right here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of the Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.
Pulse.